Hello everyone, it's good to be here again, seeing you. Well, only one way, of course. You can see me, but I cannot see you, of course. And today, I would like to give you the last activity for today, which is a brief story about our collective history with Wikipedia. And I want to argue first off that Wikipedia is, for our purpose, an endless free resource for English learners. How come? Well, you will see after I give you this presentation, you will go to Wikipedia and prove it yourself that it is indeed an endless free reading resource for us English learners. And now let me share with you this screen. Okay, what I want to talk about today is our collective history with Wikipedia. Well, not Wikipedia, with encyclopedia. When I heard about encyclopedia in the past, all I had in mind was something like Encyclopedia Britannica or Encyclopedia Americana, or basically those uh, giant encyclopedias that we can find in libraries. Those encyclopedias are usually thick, and in one series you have many of them, and each of the volume has articles, long articles, but with well, but not so difficult to understand, but written by specialists, experts in the field. So basically, an encyclopedia was a trusted source of information if we wanted to know about a person or a concept. Okay, so that's what I had in mind the first time. When I was a student back in my old university, uh, I had to go to these encyclopedias to find information about authors I wanted to write about. Later on, however, starting from early 2000, 2001, 2002, we had the so-called Encarta Encyclopedia. It's an encyclopedia in CD-ROMs, okay, in discs. So this encyclopedia was supposed to be installed in our computer, and it contained, I don't know, maybe 2, 3 CDs. And again, this kind of encyclopedia was uh, was written by specialists, and there are also good pictures and videos. So it was fun to look at those, to look up information in Encarta Encyclopedia until 2004 or 5 probably. And after that, when we were able to access internet better, and we found out this new thing, it started booming now. There was this so-called Wikipedia. It looked very simple, only white background and black text, and the information was not very complete for most of the articles, but it was accessible and always updated every now and then. So it was a good source to find or to get information about something. But it was kind of discriminated by academics, especially because Wikipedia, the contents of Wikipedia were written by non-specialists. Any random person who can make an account in Wikipedia was able to create a content or edit somebody else's content. But of course, later on, we knew that Wikipedia had a squad of editors or people who fact checked to find whether an article is accurate or not, or whether there is misleading information or not. But still, it was discriminated by academics. Later on, around 2010, 2011, more academics said that Wikipedia is actually a good source if you want to find information about something. It is a gateway because at the bottom of Wikipedia, there's a works cited section in which you can find a list of articles or sources where you can find the ideas of the writers, where the writers got their ideas from. Basically, you go to Wikipedia and go to the bottom, you will find a list of sources where you can find more credible sources. And Wikipedia itself, Wikipedia alone, uh, I think was still kind of frowned upon as an entity. You were not supposed to use Wikipedia in writing articles. However, lately, I have started seeing great writers, great thinkers, people like Slavoj Žižek or J. David Bolter. The last time I read him, basically articles written in 2018, 2019, 2020, or books, actually books written in these years, they quote from Wikipedia for basic information. I try to imagine that maybe these writers didn't want to bother finding information about certain things from typical sources, so they took the information from Wikipedia. And besides, these are thinkers or writers who are very critical, who can fact check on their own if they find a source. Basically, they can criticize the article and make sure that the Wikipedia article is right. So these people use Wikipedia. These are respectable academics, thinkers, writers. And now I have started wondering, well, actually for a long time, what will Wikipedia be? How will uh, our relationship with encyclopedia be like in the next 5 to 10 years? So that's our brief collective history with encyclopedias. And apparently, Wikipedia has now become a major part of this collective history. I guess, most of you no longer know these encyclopedias anymore, right? These were my gems, my go-to if I needed to find information about certain concepts, certain places, or certain authors or individuals from back in the history. Now you can find everything in Wikipedia. And as an English learner who has to keep reading, I can recommend you to spend some half an hour a day to go to Wikipedia, find something you like, and read it over there. Okay, use that as your extensive reading, endless free resource. And with that, I hope you get to develop your English skills that we usually develop accidentally if we read a lot. I guess that's all from me, guys. Thank you very much for listening. And my final message is keep reading. Go to Wikipedia at least half an hour a day and read things you want to know about, people you want to know about. Bye.